Hey there! Today I'm going to be making a video on Mumble. I'm doing this primarily because I don't see a lot of good videos out there already, with most of them being in a different language. That being said, what I'll be covering today is setting up Forge, installing Mumble, and configuring Mumble with the correct setting. What I won't go over is setting up a Minecraft server or setting up a Mumble server. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have Java installed. This is something you should already have installed if you have Minecraft, but let's make sure that we have it installed anyways. So I'm going to hit Windows plus R, and that's going to bring up a run prompt. Then I'm going to type in cmd to bring up a command prompt. And I'm just going to type in java-version. And if Java is installed, it'll tell me the version, which you can see right here is version 8. But if you don't have Java installed, it'll probably just tell you that the command is not found. Then you just need to go ahead and install Java. I will leave a download site in the description. Once you've recognized whether you have Java or not, you can go ahead and close out of the window just by typing exit or just closing it out. The next thing we need to do is get Minecraft Forge for the version that we're going to be installing. I'm going to be installing 1.15.2, that's what this is going to cover, but you can easily install a different version if you just find Mumble with that version and then follow the same steps with that different version of Forge. So I'm going to go to their website here. I'm going to download the recommended version because it's the most stable. And I'm just going to hit keep because I trust this site. I will have a direct link to the jar in the description of the video, so you don't have to go searching for it, although, of course, it's not that hard. It's just a Google search away. And it's completely downloaded. I'm just going to click it to open it. We're going to want to install the client. And that's just going to go ahead and install the client. Okay, now we've successfully installed Forge. We can close out of this. Now we're going to go ahead and download the mod. Again, I'll have the link to the mod in the description of the video, so you won't have to look it up. I'm going to go ahead and accept the cookies. And then we're just going to download Mumble for the version which we want, which is 1.15.2. Keep the file. Now that that's successfully downloaded, we're going to go ahead and install it. So what we need to do is get into our Minecraft folder with %appdata %. %appdata % is like a variable. It'll just take us to a spot where Minecraft is stored in our user profile for Windows. Here we see our .minecraft folder. We're going to enter there. And now you can see there's not much in here because Minecraft has not been launched yet. So what Forge will do when it starts up is it'll add all the necessary Minecraft folders. Actually, in fact, most people will already have a lot of folders in here because they've already run Minecraft. I'm working with a clean install. So what I'm going to do is make the mods folder that Forge would make for Forge. So that way, instead of making the folder itself, it can find the folder we have and find the mods in there. So after I've made this mods folder, I'm going to go back to our downloads, and we're going to go ahead and copy Mumble link and put it in the mods folder. Okay, now Mumble link is installed. Next thing we're going to do is start up Minecraft to see if Mumble link has loaded correctly. If you can see in the bottom left, I selected this profile, which is Forge. You might have other ones, but the Forge installer installed this. So this is the one you have to choose to launch Minecraft Forge. Mine is taking a while to download these files, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to when it's done. Here I have Minecraft started up. Now we're going to go to the mods, and you can see we have Mumble link installed successfully. Now that we know Minecraft is working, we're going to go ahead and install Mumble. I am going to leave a link to this website in the description because the website, as people have told me, seems a little sketchy, but this is free and open source software, so it is very trustworthy. We're going to go to mumble.info, which is Mumble's website. We're going to download Windows 64-bit. Now that it's finished downloading, we're going to go ahead and run it. I'm going to let it through with more info and run anyway, because I trust this program. Setup wizard started. Going to do next. Accept the terms. This is just the GNU General Public License. This is optional install features, so we can see we're going to install Mumble the client and the desktop shortcut. If you don't want a desktop shortcut, you can do this. Entire feature will be unavailable, and now it won't install that. If you want to install the server as well as the client, you can do this. Will be installed on local hard drive. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then also disable the shortcut. I'm going to be installing the server to show you guys what it's like to connect to it. You do not need to install the server. You can keep it at its default, unless, of course, you want the server. Install. We're going to hit yes. And we're going to hit finish. Now we're seeing Mumble start up, and it's going to take us through an audio wizard, a setup wizard. Select your default device. Make sure to enable positional audio.
This is an example of Speaks, an audio compression codec specifically tuned for the reproduction of human speech.
This I would
This
leave
is
in
an
its
example
default.
of Speaks.
This is tuning the microphone so that it detects your voice correctly. I do not have a microphone attached because I'm running this in a virtual machine, so I would go ahead and follow the instructions to set that up if you have a microphone. These are the different methods of how Mumble determines whether you're talking or not, or whether to activate your microphone. Again, I would configure this with your microphone, following these instructions. I would leave raw amplitude from input and then calibrate it here, and not push to talk or signal to noise. I would leave it at balanced, and I'm going to disable text-to-speech because I do not want it reading things to me.
This is an example of speech.
I am wearing headphones,
so
instead of it using the speaker configuration, I'm going to do this.
This is an example of
This is essential for determining positional audio, which is what you want to use when you're using Mumble Link. I am not going to submit this, but you can if you'd like. I'm going to go with automatic certificate creation, and now I'm all set up. So now that that's installed, I'm going to go ahead and add a new server. Now, this depends on the server you'd like to connect to. Personally, for my friends, I've set up a Murmur server on my own network and allowed them to connect with my IP address. For now, I've started a test server up that's running on this local computer. So I'm going to go ahead and enter what's called a loopback address. What this address does is it really just points to the computer itself. So it's a loop. It's looping back on the computer. So it's really referencing itself. We're going to put in a random username. We can see we have a ping and there are no users. I'm going to go ahead and accept this certificate. An untrusted certificate really means that no official agency or Mumble itself hasn't really verified the server. If it's a friend server that you're just going on for fun and you're trusting your friend who's running it, I would of course go ahead and accept that. But if it's a sketchy public server, I would not go through with that. Now that we have Mumble connected to the server, we're going to go ahead and edit some settings. We're going to go to Plugins, and then Link to Game and Transmit Position. This is essential. Apply. Now we're going to go to Audio Output. We're going to make sure we have positional audio on. Now there are some settings that are useful to modify here, and some preferences that I'd like to show you that I use. Positional audio, obviously I'm using headphones. Minimum distance, I like to keep that at 1 meter. Bloom, that's fine, I like to keep that where it is. Maximum distance, I turn this up so that I can hear people farther away. Around 40 meters in Minecraft is where I found to be good. Minimum volume, so this is basically no matter how far someone goes away, this is the minimum you'll be able to hear them. I like to turn this down to 0, because if it was at 80, I would be able to hear everyone at least 80%, no matter where they are. I don't like that. I like to have it realistic. So, modify the setting as you prefer. Volume. Because of the minimum volume that I've imposed here, I like to put the volume up to 150%. That's my personal preference, and it's because I typically have trouble hearing people. And I'm going to go ahead and hit apply, and then OK. And now we've configured our settings correctly. So if we're playing with Mumble Link and we're in the same game as somebody else, we should be able to hear that positional audio, as long as they have the same mod. Another note that I have to add is that when you are connecting to the server, make sure to connect with the server before you start up Mumble and Mumble Link. Make sure that you have Mumble turned on first. Thank you so much for watching this. I really hope you found it useful.